And we are live. Hello, Internet Land. I have with me the Plague Child. The Lady Dragon is for some stuff. She might try and get up later. She's trying to take a nap right now, see if she feels a little better. But if not, there's this one. Howdy ho, folks. So, how are we in Internet Land? What is going on? And Commodore, what's up? Oh, Sin. Now that I've actually heard you, it's Dave, Cinema Dave. Hell, Child, my brother, what is going on, dog? Hey. Oh, wow. So, gonna start off. What's on the bench? Hand me that book. What? Yep, and then the book next to it. Oh, White Dwarf 450 is out. A lot of good stuff in here. A lot of good ideas. Kind of a packed freaking issue. So, if you're not a big White Dwarf reader, this still might be worth it. Being the 450th issue, it's got extra stuff in it this month. And for the Lady Dragon, she's gonna start getting into that Night Haunt. So we got her the Night Haunt book, because she's working on stuff. What's going on my end of the bench? I got same old, except for something that you guys have seen on my Instagram. He is primed now, and we're gonna start breaking out the airbrush and getting some color into him real soon, like. But this is my Redemptor converted into a Leviathan Dreadnought. Hey, Mike. I'm really excited about this. He's turning out really, really good. Looking at my orcs, looking at some basing. Commodore hooked me up with some bases that I'm going to be using for. I was thinking about using them for 40K because they're sculpted bases and they're 40s, which means they're usable for Terminators and character models. So I was looking at them, and then I was thinking, well, okay, let's see how much the 32s are so I can get them for the rest of the army. Holy crap. So I'm going to take those 40s, and I think I'm going to use them on the Age of Sigmar army. I've been messing around with an idea of... pardon me, folks. Pardon me. Been a long weekend. I've been looking at doing an Ogors for a destruction army in Age of Sigmar, and they're on 40s. Victorian Miniatures Chimera Proxy. I'll have to go look at that out. I remember you pointing that figure out at me. I'm actually really excited about getting the Kickstarter completed that I was doing. I talked about last year, and one of the things that comes with is a Chimera Proxy. It's a tank, they call it, but it's an APC with a tank gun on it. So to me, that's Chimera Proxy. So I'm actually looking forward to get that, but I won't get that till the spring. Yeah.
What did you do?
I don't know. Got a splinter in my arm somehow. Yeah. All right.
Table?
Yeah, ogres are just fun. They just look nasty. So, and they're beefy, and I like beefy. So,
hey,
hello, Phoenix. So there's that. And again, still I've got a bunch of my Stormcast still on the booth. I've got a bunch done, a bunch more done. Still got a bunch to go. I still got a bunch of figures of paint. I want to get into my Imperial Guard now that I got their vehicles done. I want to start getting into the rank and file for that. Yeah, I did the Gothic terrain too. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. I didn't do the rapid delivery though, so it may be that I may end up waiting till June for the whole package. I don't know. I don't know how it's gonna work. So I'm not sure, but it's cool. It's good stuff. I'm just kind of looking forward to getting whenever I get it. I'm excited for however and whenever I get it. Oh, kind of a slow weekend. Bunch of news coming out for Warhammer. I don't know if y'all saw that. The new animated trailer for their Space Marine animated show is out. Showing some of their orchestral and some of their bumper animation. So it looks like they're going to be taking a serious deep dive into television and video and music entertainment, which will be interesting to see. It'll be interesting to see. I know they have the television show with Eisenhorn planned, which is probably going to be Netflix. They've got that animated Space Marine TV series. I'm assuming they've got other things down. Not like they don't have a ton of source material to work with. And then just the newest stuff. The first wave of Sisters of Battle all released this weekend. What else released? I think Ritual of the Damned and Lazarus also released this weekend. Or at least they went into active pre-order. Yeah. Talking about pre-order. The pre-order this week is actually where the big deal is. It's kind of crazy. Warcry has some new Ogren-looking, like Minotaur-looking dudes. Plus, they've got the Spire Tyrants are finally being released, and they just are gorgeous-looking figures. And they've got what looks like, if I'm reading this right, they're going to have 3 new war bands that are non-chaos. They're going to have a Night Haunt war band that you can purchase just as a war band. They're going to have a Gloomspire Gitz that they're going to have just as a kit. And they're going to have the Stormcast one. Now, the funny thing about the Stormcast one is that I went out of my way to get the kits for the Stormcast one already. So I may pick this kit up as well, just because it's got more guys that I will use. Because and it's not unique. It's more figures that I would be using for my specific army. So it's effectively 2 kits in one. So I kind of dig that. So they got 3 new war bands, and then they got all these new cards. Who are they adding? They're adding the Beasts of Chaos. They're adding the simple Disciples of Tzeentch in Daemon form. They're adding the Caradon Overlords. They're finally getting a set of cards. Ogre Martribes are getting a set of cards. The Ossiarch Bone Reapers, we knew they were getting cards. So they were talking about earlier. Skaven are finally getting a release. Slaves of Darkness are getting an individual release, which to me doesn't make any damn sense. And here's why. All of the Warcry bands are Slaves of Darkness. Why do you need another group? Seems kind of pointless to me. Stormcast Eternal's Warrior Chamber, which says to me they're finally going to have Stormcast melee dudes in a war band together. So the Stormcast Strongpoint are finally going to be getting their own thing. I'll be picking them up. And Tzeentch Arcanites. Now I'm guessing the Arcanites, and because carried on because the new Aether Wars box, that's why they're pushing those ones. I'm still not a fan of the fact that you have to buy a pack of cards to be able to use your figures, but it is what it is. Their new terrain box for Warcry, I really don't know how to feel about this. It's two halves of two kits. It's the ground pieces of the time-worn ruins terrain from the ruins. So they're just basically a bunch of broken and fallen over temples, and then half of a tree kit. I don't know how I feel about that. How many Chaos Warbands are there for Warcry? Well, considering Warcry is supposed to be a fight of chaos over chaos, a lot. But let's see, off the top head, you got the Iron Golems, you got the Something Beasts, you got the Splintered Fang, the Cypher Lords, the Korax Cabal, the Unmade, Spire Tyrants, and they still got one unreleased, some Sons of Flame or Scions of Flame. So it was like 6, 7, or 8, somewhere in that. I think 8. They just, one of them's unreleased at this point. I don't know how to feel about this terrain box. I mean, it's a bunch of trees and a bunch of fallen over statuary.
It's a bunch of trees that have like big roots.
Well, that's the trees. Those are the trees that come with the celestial. I mean, the whole.
And it doesn't really match.
Yeah, I don't.
They don't really.
I don't know how to feel about this terrain.
Just a broken down statue and trees.
It's 2 trees, so it's not even 3 trees. It's 2 trees, which there's 3 trees in the normal kit. It's 2 of the circle trees and a half of the ruins kit. Yeah, 8 points to cast, so that's why there's 8. So I don't know how to feel about this terrain box. I mean, I always like terrain, but I'm not sold on this. So
I don't think it's really worth it if you already.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Now, the other thing is Necromunda. The Enforcers are getting their box released. The Corpse Grinders are getting their box released, which is great, separately. And it looks like 3 separate kits for Plastic Zone Mortalis. I'm excited. I can slow build a Zone Mortalis kit. Maybe. I really don't need a Zone Mortalis kit, but I want it. I mean, it is. I love the terrain. I love the feel of the Zone Mortalis. So.
What are you going?
They are. We'll have to see. We'll have to see the price point on that because, I mean, they just do look great. This could be a lot of fun. This would be so much fun for a kill team.
Let's look at the details.
I would love to do a kill team fight inside of a Necromunda, place like that. That'd just be a lot of fun. Yeah, Skaven are getting their own thing. 2 separate Tzeentch are getting their own thing now. Like I said, the big thing I don't like is I don't like that they're releasing them as card packs. It seems clunky to me. I mean, it is what it is. It just seems clunky. So I'll probably pick up the Maw Tribes one just because I want to get Ogres eventually. I'll definitely pick up the other Stormcast one. I don't see us playing in any other fashion, so we'll see. Although I could see picking up 1 or 2 in war bands. if they're the same price point as the other war bands, maybe they come with the cards. I don't know. I'll have to find out. I'll have to see when those come out. Take a peek at them. Luckily, having a GW store in town, I get a little bit closer look at some of this stuff. So we'll see.
I'm joking, Mike. I'm tired.
So yeah, the release schedule. I mean, a lot going on there. They got some ugly dice, and I'm not sure if I dig those. And the Middle Earth is getting stuff. Who cares?
Maybe some people can.
And there's a new Warcry anthology. I think maybe. Oh, it's coming back in paperback finally. The anthology is now available in paperback. Bunch of novels. Yeah, I mean the release schedules. I'm excited about the release schedule. A lot of good stuff. Hopefully we're gonna see a lot more release schedules. I mean, there's so much stuff they got to get out this year. And the fact that they're pushing the media thing, they got to push their other stuff hard. This pre-order stuff, I'm actually a bit excited about. I actually might pick up Lazarus. I have. They're not technically mine. They're kind of mine. It's hard to describe. But the painted plus a couple extra units. So I have something approaching a small Dark Angels army. So I might pick up Lazarus. I don't know. I want to pick up Ritual of the Damned anyhow, so we'll see. They got a lot of stuff going on. I mean, I gotta get some projects.
Very true.
Well, the problem with these ones I say ugly, they don't have numbers on them. They have symbols, and so you kind of have to translate and look at the dice. I play with ugly dice. I love ugly dice, except for my beauties, my truest and most beauty of all beauties, my store release dice. These are beautiful. But, yeah. Oh, that's a lot. Just all kind of came out at once. Not a lot going on though. Kind of a dead week for me. The Lady Dragon's getting a lot more hours at work. And I've got a project that kicked into high gear that finally finished today. So I just spent the entirety of the day on my feet when I'm normally a desk jockey. So I am freaking exhausted. And you know, this has been the real. You guys can't even see the detail really well. This has been the main source of my. No, actually, can you see white? Let me see if I can put something behind it to make it more visible. Yeah, not really. It's just a camera issue. I'll just keep an eye on Instagram. It's hard to see with all the detail. I did a lot of blending, and a lot of work on this thing. I'm looking forward to breaking out the airbrush and getting this thing painted. It looks filthy. It looks gross. I tried a lot of different techniques to just make it look diseased, and it looks. I think it came out well. So we'll get some paint.
It looks fleshy.
You know, it's supposed to. It's Death Guard.
It looks like metal's gone fleshy. It's weird.
Yeah.
I like it.
So it's getting there. It's interesting when you're doing a kit bash like this, when you already have a visual in sight, you know what you want to do mentally, and you've already I had all the pieces already set aside, so I knew I'm using this for this and this and this and this and this and this, and I just got to get them all to come together, and they did. And I had a couple of weak points that I had to shore up, but other than that, and that's actually why this coming week's video, rather than being the Imperial Fortress, I'm videotaping the entirety of my process on the build and the paint on this, because I want to show. I don't know if it's you can teach or just kind of show the mental process of kit bashing. So. I'm gonna do this. Is gonna be a heavy paint week, though. I want to really crank on my Imperial Guard and get a lot more of the guard itself done. Their basing is the part that's making me kind of go. Zinc Jarkonites, all right. Yeah, I'm working at their basing. I'm trying to make, since the figures are kind of plain and kind of simple, I want their basing. I'm doing them all being in this ruined modern city. So I want to have their entire basing structure look like it'll be, piles of bricks and or broken walls or pieces of concrete and stuff like that on the Imperial Guard bases. So that they're like blitzing through a city or through a blasted cityscape or something. So that's the goal. Jeez, I am so sorry, guys. I don't know why I'm yawning like crazy. It's just silly of me. Wow. All right. Give me a sec here, guys. There we go. I don't know what it is lately. Ray was pointing out, hey, Tina, Ray was pointing out that he's been seeing on a couple other streams that he follows, especially for 40K, been a lot of trolls. And I don't know what's going on. So, whatever. We're a good community. We take care of each other. So, bing, bang, boom. And just handle it and move on. So we got this thing on the bench. We got working on that fortress. We're gonna get that Gur board finally assembled. We've been Gur board. We're doing a board for the realm of Gur for Warcry. Other than that, not a lot going on. I mean, a lot of hobby stuff. Not a lot of updates.
Whoa, that was random.
Yeah, that came out. You can put that in the bottom shelf.
Yep.
It goes in the bottom shelf. I want to start working on my orcs. About to start busting them out. I'm looking to acquire a copy of Speed Freaks to give me a good push towards vehicles, because Speed Freaks has two separate of the vehicles of the dragster type vehicles, and they've got two sets of bikes. I'm still, there's part of me that's kind of, and plus some terrain, so seems like a good buy to me. I don't know though. I don't know what to think of the two vehicles though, other than the bikes. As much as I love orcs, there's not much of an orc meta around here. Nobody plays orcs. It's weird. We have a weird meta in my neck of the woods. Pretty much everybody either plays some form of Marines, Imperial Guard, or Chaos.
It's not very difficult to not play that. Play Marines, considering how many times there were.
I feel like they bring back Paladin Gothic. Here's why I don't think they're going to bring back Battlefleet Gothic, which is a shame because I think Battlefleet Gothic is just such a great game. I love that game. Battlefleet Gothic, I think, has now 2 or 3 versions on the PC. And it's got a pretty popular PC platform for it. So I don't know if we're going to see it come back. I mean, they said that they've got 18 months worth of releases planned for Aeronautica. And I know of 2 people that play. They have a whole lot of releases for Titanicus, and I don't know anybody that plays. I know pretty much most people I know like the standard figure size games. And they love the smaller scale games. I mean, they love Warcry, they love Kill Team. Although, oddly enough, I don't see Necromunda getting played much either. Everybody I know that talks about Necromunda talks about what they use the Necromunda figures for. And Gaslands, I'm seeing there, hey, Gaslands, I'm got to start building some stuff for that too. I found a company that for pretty inexpensively does some really nice laser cut templates for turn templates. So I'm thinking about getting them. Wait a minute, 28 millimeter Mamax Interceptor. Now I've heard that you can get Gaslands done in 28 millimeters. So you could be playing it on a big table using standard war game vehicles. That seems kind of crazy and fun to me. I don't know. I kind of like the whole Matchbox car thing of it. But I mean, playing it at a 28 millimeter scale, that'd be kind of fun too, I think. Interesting. But yeah, I do feel like Battlefleet Gothic is the one thing missing. The problem is that Battlefleet Gothic is like, it's at a weird scale to fit the other games, because I think they really did Aeronautica to try and compete with X-Wing or X-Wing or the other the other ship combat. Yeah. So in Battlefleet Gothic, when it came out, the funny thing about Battlefleet Gothic, when it came out during the heyday of ship combat table games, of actual ships, not fighter ships, because Star Trek Armada, I think it was called, was out at that time. And they had all the rules for that. And then there was another game, and I'll be gosh darn, I do not remember the name of it. But there was another one that was put out by, I want to say, I'm looking over at it right now. I think it was put up by Mayfair, because I'm just looking at what I've got on the board here. I want to say it was either put out by Mayfair or a very early Fantasy Flight, in the mid 90s, early 90s, early 90s, where it was a starship combat game. And it was, in a lot of ways, it's very similar to, it was very similar to Battletech. And that's the same kind of game, honestly, that those kind of games are. Honestly, from what I've scene, Aeronautica and BattleTech are very similar. It's just that BattleTech is mecha walking around and Aeronautica is, flying. I don't disagree. I know I've heard people talk about the whole idea of running a multi-schematic campaign, where they have an Aeronautica campaign, and they have a Titanica campaign, and they have a 40K campaign, and all three of them infect each other. And
That sounds complicated.
It does sound complicated. And, honestly, the thing about that is it sounds really cool here.
But it sounds like
But the logistics of it is kind of tough. And, the funny thing is Necromunda used to be like one of their most popular games. And I think with the re-release and the recreation of Necromunda, I think the rules work better than the old Necromunda do. But I think maybe they waited too long to update the rules, and it kind of it's got gas, but not a lot. And I think, honestly, Kill Team kind of cut the legs out from outside of Necromunda, because Kill Team just kind of blew up. I mean, it came out and they're like, hey, this is a really cool game. Hey, I can use my same figures. Hey, I can build squads. I can do this. I can do that. Wow. And I can play it in a very small space and have a lot of fun with it. And I think, please stop messing with the tape. It's there for a reason. I think that's the biggest problem with Necromunda, is that it's got unique figures that you can only use in Necromunda. You really can't use them in any other game for 40K. And you got to buy them in these boxes, and they're $45 a box. And there's a bunch of different, there's a lot of reasons. Now, here's the thing. I'm going to be honest with you, Mike. I would love for them to bring back Mordheim. But unfortunately, to be truthful, Osprey Games kind of cut their legs out on Mordheim. And they did it so well, it's going to be kind of hard to do it. Which is why I think they went with Warcry. Because if you haven't heard of it, Osprey Games has a game called Frostgrave. And if you're familiar with Mordheim, the whole idea with Mordheim is there was this comet that came overhead and crashed into the village of Mordheim, or the town of Mordheim. And basically your different war bands are going into Mordheim trying to gather up pieces of the warp stone that mages are paying a lot for that, from this meteor that crashed, or comet or whatever, that crashed into Mordheim. Osprey Games came up with a game called Frostgrave. And the basic idea of Frostgrave is that you've got these wizards that are taking a warband and going into this city of Frostgrave. And Frostgrave was a magical, powerful city that was magically cursed and covered in enchanted ice for 1,000 years. And something snapped, and the spell is broken, and now the ice is receding, and all the magic and all the relics and all the power and all the treasures are being uncovered by the ice melting. And so these different wizards are taking their war bands and going into Frostgrave to gather up the stuff. And Frostgrave is everything Mordheim had, but they took it one step further. They built the system with the very specific intent. Here's our system. Here are the rules for the system. Here are the missions. And half that book, from what I understand, half that book is just missions and templates for missions and templates for campaigns, and it's all just stuff to keep running campaigns. And they're apparently got tons of that stuff on their website as well. And there are official figures, but you don't need them. The rules specifically, because the way Osprey Games works, get some figures, take a warband, get on the table, throw some terrain down, and you and your buddies play. And that's pretty much Osprey's concept of how to play a game. So they built Mordheim, and you could take your old Mordheim figures and use them, or you could use your current figures and use them, or you can use a bunch of your D&D figures and use them, or you can use a bunch of tokens that are the size of figure bases and just have the stats noted on a sheet of paper and a bunch of cardboard boxes that you can play it with just needing the rule book. And everybody I know that has played this game has said, wow, it is fun, it is fast-paced, and it is a hoot to play. You know, and if that's the way it is, then I can't see them actually ever bringing back Mordheim. I am seeing them put more effort into Warhammer Quest Blackstone Fortress. Then they just like a month ago, they just added an entire new expansion with all new characters and all new missions and all that. And I think that's the way they're going to go. I think if they ever do a Mordheim type game again, they're going to probably do it the way that they do Warhammer Quest. So I think they have one version of it right now. It's just not very popular, called Silver Tower. I've heard people talk about it. I don't know how many plays it. Yeah, again, I don't know the whole situation behind Frostgrave. I just know everybody I know that's talked about it says it's a really great time and a lot of fun to play. So, and doesn't the Wizards XP grow his band as how many guys he has to fight with and what spells he can use? So I think that's kind of cool. It's these dueling wizards trying to take over stuff. So I don't know. Oh my. So yeah. I've been thinking about getting that Warhammer Quest. I've been thinking about getting Blackstone Fortress. I want to find something that has a copy and kind of run a demo game, or maybe watch a couple videos on a Let's Play. If any of you guys own and have played Blackstone Fortress, leave me some comments below. Give me some ideas on how fun it is to play, if it has replay value, if it's worth getting or not. I mean, the figures are obviously fabulous, but if I get a game, I want a game that I can actually play and enjoy. And that's why I enjoy Warcry. That's why I enjoy Kill Team and 40K, because obviously every time you play it, it's a new game. Wow, what a night. Oh, what else is going on? Let's see here. Not a lot skewing in the rumor mill right now. No drama, thankfully. The miniature challenge has been going pretty well. 6 tanks, a couple squads of guys. I got some more figures lined up. I'm gonna try and get some major painting done this week. So that's a good hope. You guys saw Lady D's stuff. She hasn't been able to work on much of her Coronate stuff. She's trying to work on her Kit Bash vehicle. She's not very confident, even though what she's got so far really looks pretty cool. So got to keep her motivated. Can you go grab my soda off my dresser? Thanks. Oh, I did notice that Warhammer had their first official Warhammer TV airbrush painting guide. and they're saying, "Oh, we're going to be doing this more." We'll see it when we'll believe it when we see it. I'm sure they probably will do more. I'm not sure how useful it'll be. It'll be interesting. I want to actually watch it. I'd like to actually see, although it would be over. I can only imagine how ridiculously overpriced it would be. I remember years ago, Games Workshop had, or it was Citadel. Citadel was their hobby portion of the company. They actually had a official airbrush years ago. That looked like a flamethrower. I'll get it back into that. Yeah, the next challenge. I'm going to do a February, March will be another 2-month challenge. I'm going to do them in 2-month periods. The next one is going to be a terrain challenge. It will be terrain, and the challenge will be that you have to include, again, the way the guild does it. It has to include a specific supply. There's a specific thing that's got to be used. It's like it can be a lot of different things. It could be you got to build a piece of terrain, but you got to use you have to use toothpicks. They have to have to prominently be there, or you have to prominently use recycle old sprue, or whatever, something like that.
Toilet paper. No, toilet paper roll.
Yeah, toilet paper roll, something like that. And that'll be the challenge. When I throw that challenge out there, it will be a terrain challenge, and the challenge will be to build something using a piece of that terrain. So we'll get into that. Yeah, that supply in about 2 weeks. We're gonna be there. Looked like a little hand flavor and it sucked. Yeah, I heard that about it too. It looked really great. Yeah, it looked really cool, but it wasn't a good airbrush.
I think I'm going to try the next challenge also.
And I can only imagine.
Of course I do.
What did you just dump?
I got the
The basis, okay.
Yeah.
I can only imagine, unfortunately, how overpriced it would be. So, but they are trying to push their air paints, and I can say from using them, I like the air paints. I still had to put a bunch of thinner in them, and I do have a thinner. What are you doing?
That was mine. I was picking up stuff, and my phone was in my pocket.
Oh, okay. It's like, geez, all this stuff's up over there.
No, that was my phone falling out of my pocket.
I do have. I found. Give me that thinner. Yeah, that one there. Yep. I found a really good airbrush thinner. I've been using this, and I mix it about 50-50 with GW's airbrush paint, or their air paints. I got this at Hobby Lobby. This is it's a 8 fluid ounce. Is that 8 fluid ounce? I'm not wearing my glasses.
8 fluid ounce.
Okay, this is an 8-ounce bottle. This was, I want to say it was like $7, $8. It was really inexpensive. It works really well. I'm enjoying it. I had originally been using the Vallejo thinner, which is not bad. It was really, 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 really good. It's just kind of expensive. This stuff was actually pretty inexpensive comparatively. Plus the fact when you go to Hobby Lobby, you buy one thing, you get their 40% coupon, which is why I think that may have been only $7 or $8. I think it was $13 initially. It was a siphon feed. Now here's the thing. There's nothing wrong with siphon feed. My brother Al, I think, almost exclusively uses siphon feed. But siphon feed works differently. It's just different.
Probably someone who's used to one is gonna have.
Well, and it's that because like I've always seen siphon feed is what you use with enamels, and gravity feed is what you use with acrylics. because of the way they work. It just apparently it works easier that way. I have to say, since buying my Eclipse, I am exceedingly happy with my Eclipse. I want to use it more and more. I actually want to airbrush more. That's one of the things for my hobby this year. One of the things I want to do, I want to use a lot more airbrushing. I mean, I did all 6 of those tanks almost entirely. I did like 80%, maybe 90% of the painting with airbrush, and then went back and just touched up with a brush certain areas and did some detail work with brush work. But I did them like, I want to say 80 to 90% in airbrush.
It shows and it looks good. So.
Yeah. I'm going to be doing this guy with mostly airbrush. I don't think I have anything bigger planned right now. I'm trying to think next thing I have is a bunch of little guys. Although I am going to be trying to use my airbrush for my my Blood Bowl team. So because I have some specific effects I want to do on them, and I really don't think I can do them without doing them in airbrush format. So we're going to try that because I have an interesting idea for their color scheme and an interesting idea for their theme, as they are going to be the Ravenwood Cyclones. It's the idea for the team. So and I'm kit bashing a tree man for them for their team. I found out something weird about Blood Bowl that I did not expect, because it used to be that the big guys, well, again, that was the day when the little guys came on the 25 millimeter bases, and then big guys came on the Ogre base, which was the 50 millimeter square. Big guys don't do that anymore. Everybody comes, the little guys to the big guys. Even the halflings come on a 32 millimeter base. And the board is entirely, I mean, they've upscaled the board, so the entire board is a 32 millimeter squares. I don't know that I'm going to buy the whole the whole box set. I don't see me buying the whole box set unless this league really takes off and gets really popular. I got my one team. I'll be happy with that. But I want to build a pitch, so I might, get some close-up photos of it and make it measurements and make sure that it's 32 millimeter. I think building a really Sylvan pitch would be kind of cool for my Elven team. But hobbying's been kind of I got this from Cromlech, and it's been working on some ideas. I'm working on an idea for a swamp board.
It's like a bubbling tar pit.
No, it's swamp.
I know what it looks like.
It's swamp.
Sure.
So I'm looking at taking this. I've got a bunch of other big mushroom things. I'm actually looking at building a swampy kill team / Warcry board. The Lizardmen are pretty cool. I've seen some pretty cool paint jobs of the Lizardmen. I saw somebody did them as the reticulated albinos. So they're all that slightly orangey yellow, orangey yellowish white color with pink eyes. And it was a really cool looking paint scheme. So I got my elves. I'm going to build a tree man to go with my elves. We'll see how it works. I don't know. I play the computerized version of the game. I love Blood Bowl. So, and now that my beloved Packers.
He's disappointed.
I'm not disappointed in them. They got as far as the championship game, and then they got.
You said that they were playing like neutral.
They were. They played terribly.
I was disappointed.
They played terribly against the 49ers. They did. And the 49ers are quite likely the best team in football. So.
Haven't they beaten them before, though?
Not this season. They played them once before, and the 49ers absolutely murdered them earlier this season too.
Not this year.
Well, but you got to look at only the year in play. No other year matters. You know, I gotta give Games Workshop credit. They really make
nice looking books.
They make some beautiful freaking books. They really do.
Like the pages are pretty.
I like the fact that they have this. I like the fact they have this dual tone cover. All of it's matte except for the logo and the actual creatures on the thing. Those are glossy. You know, and the pictures on the back. The pictures are glossy, but the rest of it's matte.
It makes it stand.
Good books.
Cool.
Can you put this in the bookshelf with other Age of Sigmar books? Thank you. Oh. So. Yeah, you're looking at not doing Emperor's Children. And what do you want to do?
Necron.
Necrons. You want to do Necrons? All right. Necrons.
Yeah.
Necrons.
Yeah.
Necrons are cool. They're a simpler figure to paint, but they have some individuality that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So
I have like so
I
much
think
ideas.
I think the complicated figures are kind of intimidating to you. So.
And not until I get better.
Yeah.
And I get more comfortable.
Yeah. So, nice thing about this hobby, we'll get you at least one box, start with a kill team, and work your way up from there. You know? So, work from that. All right, we are at the almost 8:30 mark. We're going to throw this back out there to you guys. Let's see what we've been talking about. You guys have not been very chatty tonight. This is weird. You guys are tough. When Lady Dragon is on here, they're all quiet.
Zane is here.
Oh, that's true. Zane, well, I know why Zane's not here. Zane, our buddy Zane, is currently taking a class learning American Sign Language.
Oh, neat.
So, trying to help out the community. Zane, yeah. There it is. It is neat.
Ray's birthday just passed.
Yeah.
Those are events they probably won't know about.
There's nothing to do with the hobby.
Not a hobby, but
Your feet stink. Put your feet down. They stinky.
those socks.
Yes, and they stink. Quiet you. Finished painting the Bike Sisters. Very nice. Did you get the little flight looking stands on them so they look like they're hovering? Because I want to see that. That'd be interesting. Shan's gonna be working most weekend, so I'm gonna try and stop up by the shop this weekend. Maybe get a game in. I'm looking to get some playing in. I gotta get some. Not glued yet. Okay. What is you did basing for them? What kind of basing are you doing on that? What kind of you're not just doing plain black bases, right? You're doing something with them.
What that sounded very like, how dare you?
Well, it is a very how dare you. Let's see here. What else we got going on? No. Nope, they're not done, or nope, they're not plain black bases. Actually, I have no worries about that with Tina. Tina does lovely work. I've seen her sister's army in action. It's a lovely paint scheme for them too. Oh, I'll have to take. That's really weird, Tina. I don't think I have you on either of those. Purple flowers, very nice. Yeah, you get this whole purple thing going with them, so that's very cool. As you can tell, I am biased. Purple is the best color, so purple is my favorite. I'm working on finishing up my Successor Marine chapter that I eventually going to paint and build at some point down the road. and they've got purple in their land. I've got the name, their heraldry, their symbolry, a lot of their stuff done up. So I've got that put together, and of course they've got purple involved. And as is anybody who's seen my Stormcast, they have purple involved, purple and silver. So
good color combination.
Yeah.
Silver goes really well with any cool tones.
Yeah. Shan is working hard on her stuff. We already talked about Shan. See, I don't even know. I don't know what to do without my wife here anymore. I just don't know.
Hey, you've gone nearly an hour without doing pretty well.
So last half hour talking about spending a little non-Warhammer time. We're actually going to the hobby store this weekend, the non-gaming hobby store. I'm going to see if they have a couple Gundam kits. Well, at least a Gundam kit in stock to do something non-40K related. Since my wife is a big Gundam fan, I was thinking about getting her a Gundam kit. If I can't find me a Gundam kit that kind of jumps out at me, I've seen a neat Voltron kit that I might try and do. Otherwise, I'm kind of, I love aircraft, so I might do, I might just do a good old, a good old airplane. I don't know. I'm kind of up in the air on this one. I want to go and just see what jumps out at me, if anything jumps in on me. Got some exorcists coming in. Very nice, very nice. Yeah, I was thinking about, because I've seen them where they have these old kits where they got these crazy looking model kits where they're dragsters or hot rods, but they're even cartoony versions of that. One of them is it's called the Red Baron, and it's literally the canopy of the vehicle is like a World War I German Kaiser helmet. And it's all kind of crazy looking. And then there's another one that looks like the wheels are peeling out and they're like weirdly elongated. You have some aircraft kits for me to go through. All right, well, yeah. We had that weekend planned, and then the weather got all screwy, and then it didn't go screwy, but we'd already rescheduled out. And now Shan's been working every weekend, and like both days every weekend. So we got to figure out a time we can get out there, because I want to see you. I really, really want to see you. Yeah, I figured you'd know what those kits are. I saw last time I was in there. Hey, Bratty Bunny. Last time I was in Happy Hobby, they actually had like a couple of those kits there. So I'm like, those are kind of neat looking. And then I think those are old. I remember seeing those when I was a kid. So I'm wondering, maybe they're not the original kits. Maybe they've obviously done reprints and whatnot. The other thought is to look for something in like a 1/60th scale as far as a World War II track or vehicle, and get the kit. And then once I get my orc stuff, orcify it up and use it as an orc truck. So it's a thought too, that I can multi-purpose the kit. Monogram kits. Okay. Gotcha. Yeah, like I said, I saw the ones there. I saw the one that's the Red Baron one, and I saw that one with the weird peeling out looking tires, where the tires look all stretched out and squealy. I don't know what that one was though. I just remember still going, that's got to be a pain to frickin' build. So, and since I have no confidence in my freehand yet, the idea of doing something that's going to be kind of a monochrome or something I can be messy with, like a camo color, would work out all right. I've been seeing a lot. I've actually been reading a lot about doing freehanding and how to do like freehand designs and painting like murals on panels on a vehicle. Well, there was one guy that had just did a tutorial because he took a Rhino for those who don't know 40K. Basically took a armored vehicle, a APC, and there's a pair of doors that are huge, big flat area of doors on the top of it. And a lot of times you can get like third-party kits where you swap them out where they're covered in insignias and stuff. And he just took the original flat doors and painted this lovely mural on those doors.
That sounds neat.
Yeah. Freehanding, as I'm not a
Mom's
great,
pretty good at
yeah,
it.
mom, Shan would be a
Sounds-
the problem is I don't draw very well. I stick figure. I stick figure pretty good. I don't draw pictures very well.
Both mothers are pretty good.
I'm not really an artist in that respect. So the idea of freehanding something other than basic geometric shapes, yeah, it's not my thing. So, but I want to work on it. I think the idea is to, I've learned some tips and tricks on how to do it better, but I got to test it out. So I'm basically going to get some tiny canvases and pieces of plastic art and just try it on that to see what I can do.
Practice.
Otherwise, I have some other ideas that involve cheating, but I don't want to go into that because,
Cheater.
well, no, it's just because I mean, a good modeler in our hobby should at least try their best at freehanding, and that kind of thing. And I'm not very, even for experienced as I am, I'm not very confident in my freehanding skills. So the idea of taking a picture, shrinking it to the appropriate size on the computer, printing it on a very thin tissue paper, and then laying it down with a layer of Mod Podge, suddenly you've got free-handed painting on your vehicle.
That's not free.
Cheating.
People get cheated.
It's no more cheating than water transfers. And water transfers are not cheating. It's just
Water transfers are supply.
this is just a really big water transfer. You can print, you can actually get water transfer paper that you can print on.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, I've seen some stuff. Somebody took a bunch of anime girls and
You would have to kind of scale everything down.
yeah, well, the thing is, you're just using Photoshop to sketch it and scale it down. That's not complicated. I saw somebody though who was able to draw. They took some anime girls that they had converted into Daemonette, Slaneshi type things,
Oh my God, no.
and then shrank them down and printed them on transfer paper and put them all over their Rhino. And it was like my waifu mobile. my Slaneshi demon waifu mobile.
Whose mobile was it?
It was something I saw online. It was pretty funny. Yeah, on the other hand, Al, you do stuff that just freaks me out, man. The way you do metal plating on plastic miniatures, and oh God. Um, oh, Girls in Panzer. No, I have not. Um, although I have seen a little bit of the one that's about battleships, and I'm trying to remember the name of that one. There's a anime where all of the characters they're all girls, but they're based on World War II battleships.
I know exactly what you're talking about. Also, like there's like all the girls are battleships.
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't get me wrong. I love anime.
Weird.
I can't remember the name either. I love anime. I love some anime. I mean, Kill la Kill just kills me. It's so funny because it's just a send up of that entire actual genre. Um, we've been watching Fate Stay Night. Girls Who Panzer Kits. Fate Zero. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Fate Zero. That's the thing we've been watching. So the one with the ships, is that Hetalia?
No, Hetalia is the one about countries. Hetalia is the countries.
Oh yeah, it's the same thing. It's just countries that are all.
That's a big thing in anime, like turning inanimate objects and stuff like that or things like that into big things. Turning planets into girls. Turning silverware into girls. I don't know.
Kantai collection, yes. I saw like an episode of it, and I saw some clips, and I was like, I don't even know how to feel about this. I don't even know how to. But that's the thing. I know it's that's the other thing. I was thinking about getting, if I'm not going to do, not to do, if I don't do Gundam, looking at one or more of the other type miniatures paintbrush. My buddy Rob, how are you, sir? Good to see you. Kachinka. Okay.
I forgot that was the name.
Yeah. I'm actually, if I don't do a Gundam, because I know Shan wants to do Lady Dragon wants to do a Gundam. She wants to give it a shot. If I don't find a Gundam figure that I actually really fall in love with, like I said, I saw a Voltron figure. I might try and find like one of those hard suit figures. Like I've seen some resin and some plastic kits where it's like I saw one of Pris from Bubblegum Crisis where it's the Pris's battle suit. I saw that kit, not at this store specifically, but I've seen that kit. I've seen resin kits of a couple different things. I mean, if I could have any kit I wanted, I mean, talk about anime kits, and especially Gunpla, because I mean, there's some really, really great manga and anime kits out there. Kind of hard to get here in the States sometimes, or get in these States for less than a metric ton of money.
Yeah.
I would actually, one of the kits I'd actually like to get my hands on is I saw a Briareos from Dominion Tank Police. I saw a Briareos statue or figure, and I was like, that would be really cool. Do, do, do. Give me a sec here, guys. Thank you, Commodore. Yeah, and this is what I was talking about. For whatever reason, one, thank you so much for the base. You really honor me, dude. I know what I'm using it for. I know exactly what I'm using it for. It's gonna be for my Imperial Guard group, and I'm really thankful for you, and I love your work, man. Secondly, yeah, that's the thing. I've also seen some busts that have been pretty good. I'm afraid to get a bust just because I'm not that good yet. I mean, I'm not thinking with skin tones and whatnot. Honestly, that'd be one of the things I thought about if I get my hands on a resin printer. There are some pretty simple busts out there on that you can get just like a Thingiverse, and maybe print one of them and try painting it up and try my hand in it, and maybe get a few of them, printed a couple times, and just to keep a record of this is how I did it the first time. Now I'm doing it, but I'm trying to work on my blending, and now I'm trying to work on that warm skin tone, and because I've been seeing some really great videos on painting warm pink skin tones, which you see in things like anime busts or in those resin anime figures or whatnot. Honestly, it's something you see in when you see really, really well done normal tone female figures. Um, I've actually thought about getting, not because I want to play it, but I've been thinking about getting some of those Kingdom Death figures just because they are, and for that effect, Malifaux as well. Not that I have any interest in playing either game, but the figures are just they're the female form figures. They're beautiful. They're just, I mean, some of the Malifaux figures are just so gorgeous. And I like pinup style without cheesecake, if you know what I mean. I like a sexy looking figure for the purposes of art without it being just, a half step from being porn. I don't know if that makes sense to you guys out there. I kind of like I like a beautiful woman figurine that I'd love to try painting. Um, at the same time, I don't need figures to be all cheesecake all the time. That's one of the reasons I love the sisters. I don't want to play the sisters, but I like them because the fact that they're fierce, beautiful women without it being cheesecake. So,
Oh my god.
see, and that's the thing. Painting the same bust 41 times, and I kind of see that. I kind of see that. Although that's the thing, if I had a 3D printer, and this goes back to the whole, if I had a resin 3D printer and I could print the same bust, I could well, that would be what I'd like to do. I wouldn't mind, like, if I found a bust I really liked and I could print it reasonably, I would print it, paint it, critique myself, see what I could do, see what I could do better, see what I could try better, print it again, paint it, trying to do all the things better that I did on the first time, and do that like a number of times. And that way I could show the progression on the bust.
Yeah, you can see like a start to finish how much you improved,
Yeah.
and what things maybe you changed that you would want to go back so you don't forget.
It's honestly one of the things I thought about doing in buying. I thought about buying like a box of a figure that I don't, you know, or like an easy build kit. I have the same figure in the same pose. You could. That's not a bad idea either. I do have mold making material. I actually made some molds recently of a couple things, and I'm an experienced mold maker because I used to work in plaster a lot. Funny thing, I'm actually a sculptor. I can't paint, but I can sculpt. So I'm not like a miniatures level sculptor, and I do more organic than people, um, but yeah, the idea of being able to do the same thing. What I was saying about doing the figure thing, the easy build kits, you would never use. There's one guy in there that's standing there. There's one guy standing there. He's a commander or he's a sergeant when it's a face exposed and the gun up, and he's like this, and it's the same pose. And you only have a use for so many of those. But the other two guys you could use like crazy for units. So the thought was buy a bunch of easy build kits to build up like a group of Marines, and then just take that one guy and paint him in his paint scheme. And then paint him again, same figure, same paint scheme, but try and do it a little better. Then again and again and again. And that's the same thing as trying to do a bust. The main reason I want to do a bust is that I really want to, now that I'm trying to do airbrushing, I really want to try improving one of the things I really want to try is getting better at human skin tones. I think if you can really capture that warm pinkish skin tone. I know you talked about it with a figure we were talking about on your stream like a week or two ago, Rob. There's this warm pinkish skin tone that when somebody hits it just right and then has the right lighting to it and the right feathering to it and the right blends to it, you just look at it and go, that's a photograph, because they got skin down. And
kind of scary.
That's kind of a skill I really want to try for. I can do organic colors really well. I'm actually getting my organic blends better, but skin tone still kind of eludes me. And unfortunately, true, very true. And then you go back to OSL being a big part of it too, and doing zenithal highlighting to really capture that. There's a lot of different parts of the technique. What I'm noticing is that as my eyesight is getting a little older and I'm needing to wear my magnified glasses more and more and more as I paint, and more into detail as I paint, even though my vision is clear, I'm just losing detail at this range. I'm needing the glasses. I want to try working on getting better at painting eyes and mouths, and I'm just finding it's hard to actually get a focus on there. So honestly, that's a little bit where I'm seeing the draw of doing a bust, because you're working in a bigger detail, a larger scale figure. I kind of, even though I wouldn't be able to use them for any gaming, and I'm a gamer first, but I still am a hobbyist. Some of these 54 millimeter scale models, these double size figures, they appeal to me because I can get into that detail, and able to see a little easier.
Which helps with practicing with colors and stuff like that too.
Yeah. And that's the thing. There's
it's like having to focus on the little tiny details.
The other, and that's the big thing also. I mean, I've been doing this for 30 years, but I still want to improve. I still want to get better. I want to keep getting better. Again, because like I've said hundreds of times in the chat, my mentor, my inspiration, the guy that got me into painting on a whole, and the guy that got me modeling on a whole, he's a guy 20 years my senior, and the stuff he does is art. And Al Big Bro knows that I look at his stuff, and every time I go to his house and I look at his models on his shelf, I always look him over just looking at details, and I love looking at the stuff on his bench and his process, because holy crap, it is art. It is art, and I've been watching a lot of next level painting lately. Um, I've gone back and watched some of your streams actually, Rob. And I've got a couple other paint. I've been watching a lot of Squidmar and a lot of Zerastro. Really trying to pick up some techniques. Shan actually kind of went on a binge and watched a bunch of stuff, which is where that lava technique came from and where her blending techniques have come from lately. And she just skin has blues, reds, reflective. There are so many colors. Mr. Lee's minis. I will do that. Rob, thank you so much. Thanks for dropping by, Rob. You are, again, also another inspiration to me. Great guy, friend of the channel. Thank you so much.
I have to go take my meds.
Yep. You got to start getting ready for bed. And I got to start getting ready for bed. It is almost 9 o'clock here, folks. So we're getting close to the end of our show this evening. Not a lot of content, but a lot of good discussion tonight. So a little different of our normal show, but I'm thankful all of you are with us tonight anyhow. So as we draw to a close, final thoughts. Again, never stop growing, never stop striving, never stop achieving. I mean, like I said, I've been doing this. Well, thank you. Thank you so much. I've been doing this for 30 years, and I want to keep getting better, and I want to keep trying to be better. So never stop trying to get better. And remember, we're doing this for joy. It's not a job. If you dread it, then stop it. Do something else. It shouldn't be about dread. You should be enjoying it. So that's the big one. So that being said, everybody, I appreciate everybody stopping with me tonight. We're going to cut out a couple minutes early. I think I'm going to go to bed. I'm feeling kind of drained after the day today. You see me yawning all night. So if you enjoyed this, you enjoyed talking to me tonight, I would appreciate if you would hit that like button. If you're not a subscriber already, please hit subscribe. Ring that bell so you know when I'm on. You never know when I'm going to jump on with an effort. We do it live when I get some hobby wild hair up my nose and want to get something going. We're going to be doing some different content. You guys will see it recently. I took some feedback recently on some stuff I want to start adding to the channel. If there's anything you'd like to cover in next week's chat, please drop me a comment below. Hit that like button, and we will see you on the flip side. Thank you so much. And remember, game on, everyone.